Now we have work and energy. How to define work done in physics language? In physics language, we will start from meaning of work done. Then we will have formulas. What is a force in this context? What is a displacement in this context? I want to start. I want to start. How to define work done? How to define work done? What do you think? What will be meaning of work done from your side? What would you like to say about work done? How would you like to define work done? I am adding done word with work, isn't it? I am adding done word with work. Now this is something else. This became something else because I added done word with work. That's why it became something else. Meaning of this would be something else. You would say, what are you saying? Director, tell us what is the meaning of this. You can say. In your mind, you would be saying, okay, I am coming to the meaning of this word. Hmm. I am observing that I am, my English is becoming fluency. Yes, fluency. Now let's start from meaning of work. Remember, remember. In physics language, in physics language, meaning of work done would be it will depend on force and displacement. In a real life, meaning of work done will be something else, little, slightly something else. But in physics language, but in physics language, it is a completely change. You will feel today in this slide. Here in physics language, it will depend on force and displacement. Displacement. Answer. Work done will depend on force and displacement. Force is zero, displacement is zero, work done will be zero. It is a too basic, you know. What if I say force Newton is a 2 Newton and displacement is 0? Can you say work done is a 2? Work done is a something? No. Answer would be work done is 0 because displacement is 0. Because displacement is 0. Either this or this is a 0. We can say work done would be 0. Work done would be 0. Without forcing, without forcing to something, we are how can this how can we displace the object without forcing? It will not be possible. It will not be possible. Without forcing, the object cannot be displaced. That object cannot be displaced. Isn't it? Am I right? Yes. According to me, am I completely right? I said it will depend on force and displacement. Without forcing, you cannot displace any object. It is a universal truth. Remember, if displacement becomes 0 and force is a something, for example 10 Newton, then work done will be 0. Reason is that it is 0. If this is 0 and this is what? This will be also 0. We are not applying force, and that's why displacement will be 0. Now something else. You understood meaning of work done. You understood meaning of work done. Clear? No, something else. Formula would be work done. Formula would be force multiple displacement. Because here we are finding total. What was force, what was the displacement, and we will multiply those, and then we will get work done. As you know, force is what? Force is just a pull or push. Force is just a push or pull. From here you can find what? Positive work done, negative work done, and zero work done. Positive. Formula is a simple work done. Force multiplied displacement. Here we are finding complete. What was force? What was the displacement? Total. Total will be work done. And as you know, force, meaning of force is just push or pull something. Always remember, unit of work done. Unit of work done would be what? Joule. Always remember. We will realize that work of energy is also joule. Not now I am talking about this, but we are understanding this. That's why I am telling you unit of work would be joule. Always joule. Okay. It is said that work done is not a vector. I don't know why. Now let's see what. Let's see positive work. Let's see positive work. Let's see negative work. Let's see zero work. We have understood zero work, but we didn't understand positive work and negative work. Now we are understanding positive work. If we apply force on an object, when we apply force on an object, then what happens? What happens? When we apply force on object with some newtons, then that object will move. Because we applied. Of course, there will be what? Displacement. Now with object also I am moving. It means what? There is a positive work. This is positive work because both are moving. Also me, also object. Also me, also object. Both are moving. Okay. So if both object is moving, one me and one object. One who is forcing, one who is applying force, and second object on which force is being applied. Both will move when there is positive work. Now next is negative work. In this work, what will happen? My question is, in this work, what will happen? You can get confused. Even I got confused, but I want that I should have clear understanding. Now, in negative work, something crazy will happen. You will realize friction. What is the work of friction? Work of friction is to stop something. This is just opposite force. This is friction is just opposite force. If we apply force on object, then friction will be opposite. Friction will stop the object like that. And where is the friction? Friction is on ground. Friction can be this is surface. If a surface is a plane, then there will be less friction, very less. If 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 this surface is rough, then friction will be more, isn't it? If surface is a plane, then friction will be less. If a surface is a rough, then friction will be more. It means if friction is more, then of course that friction will stop very soon the object, isn't it? It will happen. If friction is less, then friction will stop very late to the object, yes, because friction is less. Work of friction is to stop, is to block the object. Remember this. And here, when we apply force with some Newton on object, then that friction, if that friction is blocking to object as well as me not to go forward, and that friction is telling you just go backward, then that work will be considered as negative work. I know you are confusing, you are getting confused, but hold on. With some more concepts we will try to understand it. With more words we will link this negative work. Okay, in a negative work friction word will come, because friction will block the object. Friction will say that just go backward. Now here, zero work. Zero work, which means displacement would be zero. Okay, we are applying too much force, but there is no displacement. Object is not displacing. It can be what mass of that object can be more. That's why that object is not moving after applying too much force. Displacement, object is not moving at all after applying too much force, then it means the displacement is a zero. Then we would say work done is a zero. Yes, that is how we find work is equal to zero. Work is equal to zero. Without I told you, without forcing, without pushing, without pulling. One point, pull, not pull, is push, pull. Here sometimes you can realize that I am pulling object, it means object is coming like that. It means this is negative one. But no, reality is something else. Pull and push both are for force. If you are pulling object and object is coming, it means there is a displacement. So now if you are pulling, then it will be also positive work. Okay. Remember this. Without forcing on object cannot move. Yes, external force is required to move object. Here, work done, this is a formula, force multiplied displacement. As we saw that to define work done, we should have applied force and displacement. Covered displacement. Okay, covered or displacement. Clear? We understood types of work. Now one thing more. One thing more. Gravity force. Gravity force. Gravitational force you can say. How does how will be gravity force? How will be? What do you think about it? I would say gravity force is just downward. It is just downward. Let's say this is Earth. This gravity force is always downward, like that. Perpendicular, you can say. Gravity force is always perpendicular. And this upward, it is not a gravity force. It is not a gravity force. It is up thrust, you can say. It is up thrust. Now here, up thrust will be negative work. Up thrust will be negative work if there is some displacement of object. And this downward will be positive work. Always remember. Always remember. This is a downward force. We apply like that force, perpendicular. Perpendicularly, we apply force. Now, if we are applying like that and like that on object, then object will travel some distance, will cover some distance. Object was here, and I applied force, and now object came downward. Now, distance between them, displacement this is a displacement. We got a displacement. Now we applied force. How much? We got both newtons and also what? Displacement. Now it is a what? We applied like that force. Like that force, it means gravity, gravitational force. This will be considered as positive work. This work will be considered as positive work. Now what about negative work? In like that, forces like that, up thrust. For example, this book is here. Now I am pushing this object like that. Now position of this object is here, distance is here. As I move like that upward, now there is a distance, there is a height. Can we say this is the displacement? We can consider this as a displacement. This displacement we got. Now as well as we applied what? We applied force. This we applied force. Both we got. And now this upward will be negative. Upward work will be negative, and downward work, which is gravitational force, will be what? Positive. If object is covering displacement, then okay, we are applying gravitational force, downward force. But what if object is not covering any kind of displacement, then we would say work is zero, because object is not covering displacement. Object is still here, we are applying. Object is still here, we are applying force with some, but it is not moving. Now again we increased Newton. Now we are trying to apply force like that, but object is still not moving at all. Now there is no work. I know we applied too much force, but displacement is zero. That's why we are saying work done is zero. Same here. If we are applying upward force, but object is not moving at all. If object is, when object will move, then of course it will have displacement. If it is not moving, it means displacement is zero. What I am trying to say, this object is here. I am applying upward force, but object is not moving at all. It happens in real life. It happens in real life. If object is not moving, we can say work done is zero. Completely we can say work done is zero, because object is not moving, object is not covering displacement. That's why. Clear? Clear? This was very amazing for me. Let's take us next concept. Okay. We understood this type of work done. And here we were pushing like this. Okay. Here we were pushing like this. We were pulling like this. But here we were lifting. Okay. We were lifting. Sometimes we lift. Okay. Sometimes we lift. Isn't it? This. I am lifting this marker like that. So of course I applied. Now distance position of this was here. Now position of this is here. Now what is the difference? What is the displacement? We got a displacement. Now I pulled. So I applied force to lift this marker. So of course I applied. It is also work done. I am trying to say that it is also work done. This point I am trying to tell. This is also work done, because now this has displacement. We applied force. We have both. Nothing is a zero. We have work done. We done work. We did work. We can say confident. It happens in real life or not? Yes. Clear? Now next. We have question based on this. I would like to take, so that we can understand this as a question. We have to tell, is a statement saying that this is a negative or positive. You will have a statement and you have to tell that this work is positive or negative. According, you have what statement, then we would say. we have this 4. If you are thinking after reading this question, if you are thinking that this is positive work, this is negative work, this is positive, then okay, give reason. Okay, give reason. Let's read this first question. Work done by a man in pulling water. Okay, a man is pulling water. Okay, from the well, using a rope. A man is pulling a rope. Why? So that water can come. So that water can come outside. So now, what is the work of this? Which type of work is it? Which type of work is it? Positive, negative, zero. Pulling. Man is pulling. So it is a positive. Pushing. It is also positive. But when friction will come, then negative. Here simple. Man is pulling. Just. Man is pulling a rope. That's it. If there is a pulling, we would say positive. Okay. Positive work. Why? Both pushing and pulling. If there is no friction, then we will say that work done is positive. Now second, work done by gravity when a stone is raised. It is a saying, you have a stone. Okay, you have a stone. You are raising your hand. You have a stone in your hand. Okay, it is not the saying. Okay, no problem. When a stone is raised, you have a stone and you are raising. This is what question is saying. You have a stone, you are raising your hand, and now by gravity you have to tell what is which work is it. Of course, we are raising. It means this is upward force, isn't it? This is upward force. Now what else? If we are raising, it means there is a displacement. It means a stone is a displacing. Isn't it? Yes. If a stone is a displacing, it means there will be what? Displacement of a stone. Yes. If we are raising stone, it means we are applying force, upward force. If force is upward, it means this is negative because the reason is upward force. Hold on. By gravity, a stone is raised, but I would say it is negative. It is saying it is happening in under of gravity. It is a telling. I can say that it is a try to tell you this work done is being done in under of a gravity. That is what it is a try. If this is what it is a trying to tell, then I can say it is a negative word because force is upward. That's why force is upward. Yes, meaning of this we can say work done is under of gravity. That's it. Now next is work done by friction. Friction word. If friction word is coming, we can easily say work would be negative because friction word is coming. Work done by friction when a block slides down the plane. Forward, ignore it. Only look at this friction. Then easily you can say negative. But hold on, brother. You have to understand. What is the meaning of this. When a block slides down the when a block slides down the plane This is the reason. That's why we said negative. Next is work done by the person pulling the block. Pulling the block. Block will, if a block is a object, then okay. I am considering that block is object. Work done by the person pulling the block. Pulling, pushing is a positive. If a friction, if there is no friction, positive. Positive. Clear? Here, here was what friction word. That's why we said answer. We said work done would be negative. Here pulling. Here is a pulling word. That's why we are saying this is positive word. Here is a upward force. That's why we said this is negative word. In this, rope is being pulled. Rope is being pulled, so it is also positive word. Okay, whether it is a pulling or pulling, if there is no friction, both will be both should be positive. Both should be positive. Okay, not negative. Now something else, something new. We understood. We did some questions on. We did take some question based on types of work done. Okay, let's see are all our answers correct or not. Yes, all answers are correct. All answers are correct. Now we are going to understand energy. We are going to understand energy. It is complete about work. Yes, we can link. We will be linking the work concept in energy. But now we are going to explore energy. Okay, it is done. We understood meaning of work. Unit of work is joule. Formula of work done is what? Displacement multiple force. We understood. We saw. We have seen what? Uh, types of work. Types of work. For example, negative, positive, zero. Negative, positive, zero. Now something else, energy. Energy, okay. Now what is energy? What is energy in physics language? In physics language, what is energy? It is a capacity. Energy will be capacity to do work. Can I write? Yes. Energy will be capacity. Okay. Capacity to do work. Here you can see we are. Here you can see we are linking work word. It will come. That's why. Okay. Object. Yes. Yes, energy is the capacity to do work. Without energy, we cannot do anything. Okay, without energy, we cannot do anything. As we, as we, I wake, as we wake up, in the morning, then we have what? Then we have full energy. Okay, we have potential energy. You can say. And as the time passes, in the evening you can say in the night, our energy is end. is an end, isn't it? It happens with a lot of a person happens, and it should happen. It should happen because we are working, we are working. If you are working, then energy will be ending, will be ending. Yes, because you are working. That's why you are working mentally, physically, both. Both can be, both can be, both can be. Here I am teaching you. Here I am teaching you. What is happening here? Can you observe energy here? Here I am teaching you. It means I have energy. I am able to teach you. When I will not be able to teach you, it means I don't have energy to teach you. My energy is ending. Okay. To gain energy, you will eat, you will take rest. Okay. That's how you will gain energy. You will gain energy. So remember, it is a capacity. It cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. It is said. It is said. You can say this is a tagline. It is said that energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, but it is a transformation. We can we can uh, transform. You can say we can transfer. We can yes, we can transfer energy from a scratch to the full. This is not making sense. Is this making sense? No, of course. Of course no. Here, mm, in evening you will have full energy. In evening you will have full energy. But in the night, in the evening, you will not have that much energy when you had in morning. Why is it happening? There should be reason. That's why it is happening. Yes, we are finding answer. Why is it happening? In morning we gain. We in morning, not in morning. We sleep, and this is duration of a sleep. In this process, we gain energy. We gain energy. We have potential energy, and then in the morning we feel what? Energetic. Why? Because we took sleep. We slept. That's why. We took a better sleep. That's why. We are fit, and here uh, diet should be better. Okay, if you are eating better things, for example, uh, not junk food, not junk food, simple healthy food, then you will feel more better, more better. Not only sleep, not from sleep you cannot feel more better. For feeling more better, then you have to eat a healthy food. Both combination of both will provide you energy, from which you will be able to do able to do work, from which you will have productivity. Where I am going, I am not going out of context. I am not going out of context. I am connecting real life with this lecture. So how do we gain energy? How do we gain energy? When we take when we sleep, when we take healthy foods, that's how we gain energy, that's how we gain potential energy. as we work as we work, then our energy gets saved. Yes, as we apply force on something, then our amount of our energy will be less. And this energy that we applied force on something object. Now our energy will will be where, will go in that object, and that object will gain energy, try to understand. I had energy, I applied force on object. Now that object is gaining energy. Which energy? My energy. Are you observing pattern of a transfer of energy? I had energy, I applied force, and when I applied force, then I reduced my energy. And here that object gained energy from my end. When I applied, my energy decreased and energy of that object increased because I applied force. It happens in real life. It happens. That's why we feel what? We feel that I don't have too much energy, I'm going to sleep. That's how we feel in night. But in the evening, we feel what? More energetic. Because we took 6 or 7, 8 hours. We took 7, 8 hours sleep. That's why. We had what? We have potassium energy in the morning. But in the night, we don't have that much energy that we gained in the morning, that we had in the morning. Why? Between morning and night, try to observe what happens between this. We apply force, we do a lot of work, mentally as well as physically. That's how our energy gets end, our energy ends. That's all, because we do a lot of work, we take pressure, we feel sometimes a tension, we feel sometimes a depression. We do a lot of work, we apply force on a lot of objects. That's how our potential energy gets in. And then in the night we feel, in the evening we feel that I don't have too much energy, I'm going to sleep. I need food, I'm going to sleep. And again, after taking 7, 8 hours sleep, you will gain potential energy. Again, energy. It happens again and again. Here you can also observe energy is not ending, not completely. We are gaining, we are gaining energy, but energy is not completely ending. Something energy we have in the night. Something, a small amount we can say. Some amount of energy we have in night, in evening. We cannot say that we don't have completely energy in the night. Some energy we have, and it never ends. Clear? It never ends. Now here I told you, I explained, if we are applying force on object, it means object is gaining energy when force is applied on it. When force is applied on it, isn't it? It will happen when force will be applied on object, then object will gain energy. Now now here what will happen? Person will reduce person will reduce person will not have person will apply force when person will apply force, then person will not have that energy. Okay, then person will reduce, then energy of a person will decrease. Okay, here when person will apply force on this object, then energy of object will increase. But here person is applying, when person will apply force on then energy of person will decrease. It will happen. Yes, it is true, energy cannot be created, energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed. It happens. It is a fact. This is fact. Okay, you can say all these are facts. You can write this. Okay, now let's remember SI unit of energy would be what? Joule. Okay, and we saw SI unit of energy is also SI unit of work is also joule. Both are same. Yes, both will be same. Work will be done by having energy. That's why both are same in SI unit. Now, kinetic energy and potential energy, let's understand. Kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy and potential energy. These are two types of mechanical energy. Okay, these are two types of mechanical energy. First is kinetic energy and second is potential energy. We are going to understand it. Kinetic energy is what? Any energy. Hold on. I am going to erase it. Kinetic energy and potential energy, isn't it? Potential energy. What will happen with both this? Here remember, kinetic energy, it will tell you motion, not completely. This is not complete definition of a kinetic energy. You will realize motion, but in potential energy, in definition of potential energy, you will not realize what motion. Yes, it will happen. Potential energy, a object gains energy. Okay, a object gains energy, and that object is ready to be in motion after gaining potential energy. Remember, a object will gain energy, and now we can say that if that object gain energy, now that object is ready to be in motion. Now object is in motion. Can we say that object is what? That object is kinetic energy. That object has kinetic energy. Because he is moving. How is it possible? He is moving. How is it possible? Because somebody applied. Because of potential energy. He is moving because of potential energy. Now potential energy was converted into kinetic energy because potential energy was ready to be in motion. Now as we did leave that potential energy, then that object came into motion, and now he is in motion because that has potential energy. Now if this is motion, we can say it has a kinetic energy. It has a kinetic energy. Now we can say because of it is a moving. Any object is moving, it means it has kinetic energy. It had potential energy, then now it has kinetic energy because of it is moving. That's why. Clear? That's why. That's all from energy lecture. Now something else I would like to discuss with you. Something else. Effects of force. Effects of force. Something else. As you know, force is just a push or pull. We push, we pull. But apart from this, what else? We lift something. We apply downward force. We apply upward force. What about this? It is also force. But these are types of force. Upward force, downward force. Okay. Downward, upward. Both come in under of a gravity. If it is coming in under of a gravity, can we say it is a gravitational force? Yes. Now if it is a gravitational force, we can easily say it is a type of a force. There are more types of force. For example, electromagnetic force. For example, magnetic force. there are few types of a force. So definition of a force, here we are directly saying it is a just push or pull. We can also say that this upward, this downward is also force, but it comes in types of force. Okay, for example, gravity. Here we are understanding effects of a force. We are understanding effects of a force. What can be effects of a force? If we apply a force, then what can be changes? Can we say if a object is coming to you, what will you do? Will you stop? Will you do nothing? Question is to stop. Question is saying you have to stop. You have to stop a moving ball which is coming to you. What will you do now? You will apply force. Like that. So here you applied force. Now object was moving. It was in motion. When you applied force, it came into rest. Now this is the first effect of a force. You can easily say that first effect of a force would be what? Moving object can be stopped. Can be stopped. Yes, this is a first effect of a force. Moving object can be stopped by applying force. Remember, by applying force. If object is moving, and question is saying, can you apply accelerator on this object? It means if this is moving with this speed, and you have to increase the speed of this moving object, what will you do now? You will apply like that, external force like that. Okay, like that. When you apply like that force on this moving object, now the speed of this object will increase after applying external force. What is happening here? This is the second effect of a force. This is the second effect of a force. Why? Because when you applied external force, object was moving, and question was just when you don't have to stop, and you will apply force. You don't have to stop this moving object, and you will apply force. Then what will happen? To increase question now let me tell you. Question is saying increase a speed of this moving object. What will you do? You would do just like that. You apply extra force to increase the speed of this. To decrease the speed of this moving object, you will like that. Slowly touch. That's. So can you say a speed of moving object can be increased or can be decreased by applying external force? So you can easily say second. This was one, and this is second. A speed of moving object can be increased. Can be increased. And can be decreased. Yes, it will happen. It will happen. This is second effect of this. Can we change direction of object? Can we change the direction of object? Will it happen? Can we change the direction of object by applying external force? Yes, If an object is there, here is object, we want what, we want that this should go this side, then we will apply force like that, and this will go like that. If object is coming in your direction like that, you will apply force and direction of this will go this side, this. It will happen. It happens in real life. In real life it happens. So you would say yes, direction of moving object can be changed by applying force. Also remember, you cannot change mass of object by applying force. Okay, always remember, you cannot change mass of object by applying force. Always remember. Okay, all these three things can be done by applying force, but this fourth thing cannot be done. Fourth thing is what? You cannot change mass of the object by applying force. Okay. Here in this, you are observing increasing and decreasing. Speed is increasing and decreasing. Meaning of this would be acceleration. Meaning of acceleration is what? Change. Speed is decreasing and increasing. It is a meaning of acceleration. That's all from this slide.